Alright guys, today we're doing something a little bit different. We're going to be counting down my top 10 favorite Dokkan Fest exclusives. Now right off the bat, I am going to say this is all my opinion. I'm not saying these are the best, because they're not. I even have 120 lead on here. Definitely not the top 10 best Dokkan Fest exclusives, okay? So first I have two honorable mentions. It's this new Vegeta. He is not out yet. He will be out in like 2 days. He's really good, and I think he would be in my top 10 if he were out, but he's not out yet, so he's just here in honorable mentions. And the second honorable mention goes to Super Saiyan 3 Bardock. Now, Super Saiyan 3 Bardock would probably be in my top 3 if I had him, but I've summoned on every banner he was on, and I never managed to get him. So, you know, that hurts, because he has Over in a Flash and Prepared for Battle. There's 100% attack and defense on Super Attack. He has a little support type buff if you're under 70% HP, which isn't hard to do on the Super Saiyan 3 team at all, because that team, it's like it's made out of like glass. That's not great. So anyways, my actual number 10 is Physical Super Vegito. Physical Super Vegito, he's not even here because of his leader skill, because the Majin Buu Saga category is not great. Obviously it has a Super Battle Road stage, so I guess he could be here for that, but it's not to like use him on events like as a leader. He raises all allies attack by 30%, which is something that I forgot about until just now, but you know, that's pretty good. And then he reduces damage received by 50%, which isn't as good as Agility Super Vegito, but either way he still takes nothing unless if someone supers him, because that's not active then. And then he counters with Tremendous Power, and this is the thing that I like a lot. It's he gets 10% attack with each attack received up to 100%. For a counter unit, that is busted. It's not like, I know a lot of people are like, well, Rage Vegeta gets this like straight up, but this Vegito has damage reduction. That Vegeta, if you sent him out like against the last form of UI Goku, or like against even the physical bully event where he has type advantage, he would get mollywopped, whereas this Vegito, like, I would feel confident sending him out in front of like the last stage of Jiren, as long as he didn't get supered, he would be fine, you know. The only bad thing about him is his categories. He only has 2 of them, and this one, Majin Buu Saga, is like whatever. It's because he's the leader is why it's whatever, because unlike AGL Super Vegito, he doesn't have shocking speed, so he doesn't link up as well as like Agility Super Vegito would, so, you know. Also, Agility Super Vegito is really close to this guy for me personally, but either way. Moving on. Number 9 is STR Jiren. Now, again, I don't use Jiren as lead anymore, because, spoiler alert, someone else on this list has the same lead as him, but a little bit better. But I do use him on that team that we're going to talk about later. And I also do use him like on Realm of Gods Super Battle Road. This guy is super clutch because he has a medium chance to stun all enemies at the start of turn, which you think, oh, medium chance, that doesn't happen often, but you only need it to happen like once or twice in Super Battle Road, and it will completely change a run. He also gets 130% attack, like straight up. That's like one of the highest like attack and defense raises at the beginning of a fight, because like, you know, Evolution Blue Vegeta gets that, but it needs to be 4 turns later, and he only has like a 25% chance of transforming, 30%, I don't remember exactly. And when an enemy is stunned, he performs a guaranteed crit, which means him and someone who's going to be on the list a little bit later are a perfect pair, because they share a whole bunch of links, and both of them stun, and both of them hit harder when their opponent is stunned. So I guess we'll talk a little bit more about Jiren once we get to that mystery person later. Alright, number 8 is Turles. Turles, once again, just like everyone on this list so far, his leader skill, it's not outdated, because if you only have Turles and you don't have Broly, you can still use Turles as a lead and be fine, but he's not the best movie boss's lead anymore, so that's just one thing you're gonna need to accept. He can stun, which is good, and he gives 3 key and 40% attack to all allies, which is monstrous. It's like one of the best, if not the best support type passive in the game. Like, you can argue if it's Turles or Kid Buu. I don't have Kid Buu, I'm gonna be real. I think I had him once and then I bobbed him, but that's besides the point. And he also reduces super class enemies attacked by 15%, which, why can't Angel Gold and Frieza just have this? Why does it have to be allies and enemies? The only bad thing about this Turles is that he is a transformation unit, and, whoops, didn't mean to do that. Because he's a transformation unit, he's like, this form of Turles is not what you want. You're not running Turles for the 130% attack and defense and the HP recovery. You're running Turles because you want him to support your team. So when he transforms, it's actually, like, not great, like, at all. So you just have got to hope you stay above 80% HP, just like with physical Kid Buu, I guess. Alright, so now moving on to, what is it, number 7? Hold up. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Yeah, number 7. This is the Android 17 from the Tournament of Power. I feel like the Android category team is a little bit underrated. Like, obviously, it's not the fastest team, but you can't kill it. It recovers so much HP. Like, everyone on their super attack on the Android's team either lowers attack and defense like the 17, or recovers HP like LR Cell, Easy A Cell, Android 21, both of them, the good and the bad one. So it's like, that is very solid. And his passive gets 120% attack when performing a super attack, which is better than just at the start of turn, so already I'm okay with that. And then he gives all allies 3 key and 60% defense, which, on a team where you're just reducing attack and healing, supporting with defense is like, it's just the icing on the cake, because like, you're not going to take any damage, and if you do, you're going to heal it whenever LR Cell and Tech Cell come back, or whenever, if you run the Android 21s, them. I don't really run the STR Android 21 much anymore, just because like, when I run this team, I want to have LR Cell and Tech Cell in rotation, and then I want to have this guy, and maybe like Super 17, which is weird because sometimes I call this guy Super 17 because it's Android 17 from Super, but like him and Dragon Ball GT, like Super 17 on a rotation. Yeah, this guy, he's actually one of the units on here that isn't a transforming unit, which I just realized is a little bit rare now that I'm looking at my list, but he's very good. I feel like his team doesn't get enough credit. But anyways, this is the 120 lead. Okay, number 6 is Physical Final Form Cooler. His leader skill nowadays, like, it's good for Dokkan Battlefield. You're probably going to use him as a lead on Dokkan Battlefield. But other than that, you wouldn't really find a cooler friend out there. You might find like an LR Cell friend, and then you can try and run Extreme Physical. But it's just, part of it is nostalgia for this guy. Like, I'm not going to bore you with like where my life was when this guy came out on JP. But like, Rhyme and Nano's videos when this guy first came out, like summoning for him and like races, that was like some of the best times of my life, just like when that came out. So it's like, I have a nostalgia for this guy. It doesn't even have anything to do with him, it's just when he came out in my life. But also, attack and defense 100%, launches an additional attack, which has like a 10% chance to be a super. Hold up. Going down here, has a 10% chance to be a super, yeah. And also, because he gets a guarantee, whoops, I'm not trying to do that. And because he gets an additional attack, it also gives him a higher chance of getting a third attack, which has a 50% chance of being a super. And a lot of people are like, oh, I don't have dupes, but it's like, he's a physical unit, so you always have that chance. So, he is very good. He has great links, and he fits awesome on every single team that he's on. Most Malevolent Clan, every unit on that team fits well on that team. Movie bosses, there are a whole bunch of Friezas and other coolers on movie bosses that you can link him up with. He would work fine. Transformation boost, it depends on how you build that team, because now you can build like a pretty solid like hero version of the transformation boost team. But if you run a villains version, this guy will fit great because he has great links. Thirst for Conquest, Big Bad Bosses, Shocking Speed, Metamorphosis, Fierce Battle. He's doing great. He is one of, out of all of the 120 leads, he has aged, I'm not going to say the best, but like one of the best, because I think the Super Saiyan 4s are now aging better, because you can run like Agility Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta on Agility Super Saiyan 4 Goku's team, and they will link up great. but I would say this guy, like, is right behind the Super Saiyan 4s. He is very good. And then number 5 is Dragon Ball Super Broly. And also, Gogeta's not on this list, because I went like 1,700 stones on his banner, and I didn't pull him, and I pulled like 11 copies of Gogeta. I'm very butthurt about that. I'm not going to talk about it anymore. But anyways, this is physical, I don't know, this is Broly from the Broly movie. His transformation is busted right out the jump. And his leader skill, busted. He gives movie bosses category 170% attack, HP, and defense 150. So that's the same leader skill as Turles, but he gives 20% more attack, which is right out the jump, great. And then he gives full power category 170% attack and 130 HP and defense. Again, very good. You can field a good team even if you just started. Like if you just re-rolled and you pulled Broly on the Broly movie banner, you can field a good team, I bet. Because these are pretty big categories. And on his super attack, he greatly raises attack for 1 turn. He causes supreme damage to all enemies. All enemies. Right now, the World Tournament is on Global and JP. And actually, right now, like, while I'm kind of talking, I am kind of grinding the World Tournament on the side. Because I do want to get, like, 1 copy of the future Gohan. Each World Tournament is just my goal to get, like, 1 copy of the new card. Like, that's it. He gets 6 ki and 130% attack and 100% defense at the start of turn. Now for World Tournament, this guy's the World Tournament killer because he deals damage to all enemies. He gets 6 ki, which is great because in the World Tournament you only get 3 ki from your leader instead of 6. So he will only need 3 ki to super if there's no ki support. And he gets 130% attack right up the jump, which is good. Defense in the World Tournament doesn't really matter because no matter what, you're going to get mollywopped if you get hit. That's why Jocko and Chaozu are MVP. And he transforms into this behemoth after only 4 turns. He gets 8 ki and 188% attack and 120% defense. And he launches an additional attack, which has a high chance to be a super. Which for me, it seems like it's an ultra high chance, but yeah, it's not. It has a 50% chance of being a super, but for me, it's only not been a super like 1 time. This Broly is super clutch, especially if you link him up with like LR Broly, or like the legendary Super Saiyan Broly, like the physical one. I've never actually linked him up with the physical one, but you can do that. He's on movie bosses, pure Saiyans, full power transformation boost. He works well on all of these teams. At least he can if you like build a Saiyan-centric team, which you can on transformation boost, you can on full power, you can on pure Saiyans, and you can on movie bosses. So Broly is very good. And now another maybe surprising one for some people. Number 4 is Angel Golden Frieza. For the longest time, Angel Golden Frieza's Resurrected Warriors team was my favorite team in the game. For a good like 6 months. And I remember when I first summoned for him, I was only summoning for him because I wanted to be able to beat Super Saiyan 3 Goku's EZA. And I got him, but I didn't have any Intorbs. So on stage 30, I did it for like 4 hours. And then eventually my rainbowed Int Kid Buu got an additional super attack and let us win. So again, excuse me, a little bit of nostalgia for when this guy came out. And he gets 150% attack right out the jump, which is crazy good. He gets 50% in defense, which is enough considering like you have dupes. Now, there are a few drawbacks to this guy's card. Superclass allies and enemies attack minus 15%, so if you're running like Angel Super Saiyan 3 Goku on this team, he'll get a little bit of a debuff. If you're running Super Saiyan 3 Bardock on this team, he will also get a little bit of a debuff, but it's nothing too crazy. Like here, you can still run heroes on this team comfortably, but it won't be, quotes up, optimal. Another bad thing about this Frieza, he does not have big bad bosses, and I understand why he doesn't have big bad bosses, because like, when he was in this art, he was kind of on Goku's side, whatever, but he's a villain unit without big bad bosses, which, in this game, is never great. But yeah, you can also farm a super, apparently, which I just saw for the first time. But anyways, we're going to move on. Now we're in the top 3. Number 3 is Evolution Blue Vegeta. Evolution Blue Vegeta, He was one of the units that, as soon as he came out on JP, I was like, yep, I'm going to save for him. Because of his leader skill. The Pure Saiyans category. It was so big, it was like, man, this is one of the categories that I feel like you need to summon for. Which is another reason why I'm summoning for the Super Saiyan Vegeta that is coming out in like 2 days or something. He gives, the only bad thing about this guy is that he gives 130% attack and 170 to all the other stats. So the 170 to all the other stats are fine, but the 130 to attack, it's the one that you really care about. That's why on Broly's full power lead, I didn't bring up how he only gave 130 to HP and defense, because it's whatever. But the attack is what you really care about. Now, he causes immense damage, greatly lowers defense, greatly lowers defense, doesn't really do anything. Now his passive, he gets 120% attack and 60% defense. Already, that is super good, okay? That's, like, worse than Angel Golden Frieza if this was his passive all by itself, but if you look at it, he launches 2 additional attacks, which raises defense, and he can evolve. So, also his additional attacks cannot be supers, but because he launches 3 attacks, he will have a very high chance of launching a 4th attack, which can be a super. And then after 4 turns, there's like a 25% chance of evolving, 30% chance to evolve. And then you get this behemoth, 130% attack and defense at the start of turn. He launches 2 additional attacks, and his chance to critical goes up by 10% with each attack performed. So after the first turn, even if your Evolution Blue Vegeta has no dupes, next time you see him, he will have a 30% chance to crit if he doesn't get his 4th additional, which he probably will. So this guy is very good. Also, one thing I haven't talked about yet, he has a lot of category teams. Universal Survival Saga, Realm of Gods, Pure Saiyans, Full Power, Representatives of Universe 7, Transformation Boost, Vegeta's Lineage. He also has very good links for the Pure Saiyans team. He has, like, Super Saiyan prodigies for other, like, Vegeta's Royal Lineage, for, like, Bardock's and Vegeta's, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle. So, very good. Now moving on to number 2, which it might surprise some people that this guy is this high. It's your boy, Tech Hit. Hit? He's here because of his leader skill. Because I love the Universe 6 and Universal Survival Saga category. I love it. They made Champa so good. There's a lot of things I love about this category. Now, this is the thing that I was talking about with Jiren, actually. So, like, you run Jiren on this category, he gets the same leader skill as you would get if you were just running one Jiren, which is 3 key, 150% stats. But Jiren has a medium chance of stunning enemies, right? And if he stuns an enemy at the start of turn, then Hit gets an additional 80% attack. And he's, like, hitting them with type advantage if the enemy is stunned. And if you put Hit first, because he has a medium chance to stun on its super, and then you have Jiren next, he has a medium chance to stun on a super, and he has a chance to stun on, he has a high chance to stun on his passive. So that's only for 1 turn, whereas the one on super is for 2 turns, but either way, if you add them together, he has like a 70% chance to stun. I know people are going to be like, it's not a 70% chance to stun, it's a separate 50% and 20%, but it's like, whatever. He gets 120% attack, he debuffs, he has a chance to stun, he is very good, his team is great, he doesn't have many categories, actually the only categories he has are the ones that he leads, which is kind of funny. His super attack is really clean. I haven't talked much about super attacks, but his super attack is really clean, and I had really good luck on his banner, so this guy has just treated me well since the beginning. He is not on JP yet. I think he'll be on JP. I think he'll be the next Dokkan Fest after the Transforming Vegeta. Alright, any guesses on who number 1 is? You're right. It's Ultra Instinct Goku. Now, I know a lot of people are going to be like, whoa, why is he this high? But it's like, Realm of Gods is one of my favorite categories in the game. Straight up. There's so many options, and actually I made a video on it. It's the only team that I can actually like make a rainbow team of. Because I have UI Goku Rainbow, which also I might be biased. Although I don't think I'm biased, because I have Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta Rainbow, and Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta was not on this list. But he raises attack permanently, which does stack if he transforms. I've seen some people asking, like, hey, when he transforms, does he have to restart his attack raise? But he doesn't. He gets he gets 100% attack and defense at the start of turn, which is already really good. And then if your HP falls below 50%, he transforms into this monster, which is like, it's a double-edged sword, because for me, so he has a great chance to dodge, which I'm pretty sure is a 70% chance. Let me check. Yeah, it's a 70% chance to dodge. That doesn't really work for me, though, that often. He does not dodge. He dodges probably about 20% of the time for me, which, you know, it is what it is. But he gets 3 ki, which he doesn't need because he has over and a flash. Wait, I was looking at his categories trying to find over and flash. He has over and a flash, prepared for battle, tournament of power. Very good links. His entire link set is just like busted. Kamehameha, prepared for battle, over and a flash, godly power, tournament of power, the first awakened in fierce battle. And if you link him up with the STR Super Saiyan God Goku, he can get over like a 2 million attack stat without even like thinking about it. It's very good. Yeah, I think that's about it. UI Goku is my favorite. Now, I might do my top 10, or like my bottom 10 Dokkan Battle exclusives later. If you guys want to see that, let me know. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. My name has been Blacharap. Please consider liking, commenting, and subscribing to the channel. Bye.